The winter wind bit through the quiet rural town. Streets lay empty under snow, while inside the small police station, officers sat in silence, the only sound the low hum of the heater. Suddenly, the glass door flew open. A small puppy stumbled inside, his fur matted with ice, paws raw from the frozen pavement. His ribs showed beneath his thin frame, proof that he was a stray. The officers froze, surprised at the sight. The puppy barked sharply, his tiny body trembling. Then, astonishingly, he rose onto his hind legs, pressing his two front paws together in a desperate prayer-like gesture. His dark eyes pleaded with a depth no one could ignore. Some officers chuckled nervously, but one man, a tall officer in his 30s, broad-shouldered in a Navy uniform, felt a pang of unease. He crouched down, his boots creaking on the floor. The puppy repeated the strange gesture, whining softly before bolting to the door and looking back as if to say, "Follow me." The officer's instincts flared. "He's trying to tell us something," he said firmly. Throwing on his winter coat, he gestured for two colleagues to join him. The stray sprinted ahead, leaving tiny prints in the snow, barking to be sure the officers followed as their breath smoked in the icy air. Minutes later, the puppy veered sharply toward a ditch on the outskirts of town. There, half buried in snow, lay an elderly man. His clothes were thin, his skin pale, his body barely stirring. He had collapsed in the cold, dangerously close to death. The puppy ran straight to him, pressing his small body against the man's chest for warmth. Then, once again, he rose onto his hind legs, paws together, eyes wet with urgency, as if begging the officers to act. The lead officer dropped to his knees, checked for a pulse, and felt the faint thrum of life. "He's alive!" he shouted. "Get the ambulance now!" One officer radioed frantically, while another draped his heavy jacket over the man. The stray never left, licking the man's face, pawing his chest, his little body shivering but unrelenting. Soon the wail of sirens pierced the icy silence. An ambulance screeched to a stop, paramedics rushing down with a stretcher. They carefully lifted the old man, wrapping him in the thick blankets, an oxygen mask pressed over his face. The puppy barked and whined, trying to leap onto the stretcher. The officer who had first trusted him spoke firmly. "Let him ride along." He found him. The paramedics moved, nodded. Inside the ambulance, the stray nestled against the man's side, his trembling body finally still, as though he knew his mission was nearly complete. Hours later, in the warmth of a hospital ward, the elderly man stirred. His eyes blinked open to see the tiny stray curled up beside him, staring back with unwavering devotion. Tears welled in the man's eyes. With trembling fingers, he reached out. The puppy rose once more on his hind legs, paws pressed together before collapsing into the man's embrace. The officer stood quietly in the doorway, his expression softened, eyes glistening. He knew he had just witnessed something extraordinary. A stray, with no home and no master, had chosen compassion and saved a life. The story spread quickly and people called the puppy a hero. But he wanted nothing, only for the old man to live. Sometimes the smallest lives carry the greatest courage and remind us that even those with nothing can give everything. Thank you so much for watching this emotional story. If you believe that love and compassion can come from the smallest creatures, please share your thoughts in the comments below.